What is going on out there, peeps? All right, we haven't covered gold and crypto in a little while. There's been a lot of crazy things going on. So let's come back around because, as usual, there's some interesting things we need to talk about. All right, I don't know if you guys know this. When Bitcoin first came out, they had these coins that look like this, and in there was some type of computer chip or something that they could pull out, and it held like 10 bitcoins. So the funny thing is, or I should say, the cool thing is this: those things would have serious collector value to them. You know what I mean? I guess these were handed out as gifts or whatever. So they had crypto coins that look like this, bitcoins, and in there was these thumb drives, kind of like things, and each coin held 10 bitcoin. I think it would be worth more than the actual Bitcoin value just for collector reasons. All right. Speaking of gold, as you guys know, if you're considering buying precious metals, please give our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange a consideration. The link is in the description. If you're a first-time buyer and you buy more than $100 worth of precious metals, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and get a free ½ ounce of silver. And you guys know I'm still disabled off of Facebook. Again, my thought is probably till election time is over. But you can come join me over here on Twitter. The link is in the description. So what's going on in the market? Very, very interesting, because Bitcoin, along with some of these other altcoins, kind of went on a little bit of a run. Bitcoin has kept its value and seems to be lingering pretty close to the $12,000 mark, 7% today. Ethereum seems to be teetering back and forth from about the 390 down to the 370 range. So it's holding. They both now seem to be going horizontal. Wow, Bitcoin, as you can see, it's horizontal here. But look, getting very close to the 52-week high. If we get a stimulus, I guarantee this sucker is going to run. You can see here, Ethereum was running horizontal as well, had a little bit of a dip, but it's been doing that. XRP, man, stuck in crazy limbo land as always. I remember when it was like 12 cents and it kept going back and forth between 12 and 14. Then it jumped up there around 15, 16 cents. Then it jumped up there to around 18 cents. I was like, good Lord. Then it got up there to where we are today, and it's been holding now for some time. All right, let's see here. Gold and silver, they're just lingering as well. Gold seems to be just horizontal, holding around that $1,900 mark. Silver is holding around that $24.50 range. Despite all the attempts, in my opinion, on manipulating the gold and silver down, these values are being supported. So instead of letting them go take off like a bat out of hell, what they're doing is just holding them there right around the same levels. They're keeping them horizontal. We anticipate a bump between now and the end of the year. For those of you who want to jump in on this bandwagon with the cryptocurrencies, there's a link in the description. If you follow it, you can get $10 worth of free cryptos just for joining. And once you are officially on there, you can scroll down where it says earn more cryptos. You can earn a little over $100 worth of free cryptos just by watching videos. So go check it out. And for those of you that do have the Coinbase account, go into your account and scroll down a little bit and see if you can earn some more free cryptos. I mean, it's like $100, man. Come on now. I'll take free 99. Okay, so this is Doug Casey. Doug Casey, in the first half of this video I used on another video about the Great Reset. I loved his opinion on a possible civil war and what we need to be looking for. Part of what he was saying falls in line with what I think is happening. The guy was saying to him, hey, how can we avoid a civil war? He said, to avoid it, you need to reduce government. That's what you need to do. And so that is along the lines of what Trump is attempting to do. But let's get into the other part of this, which he's talking about a gold bubble. Let's hear what Doug has to say because it's very, very interesting.
Isn't this good for equities then? Isn't this good for investors? Because if you're, going back to what you said earlier, the worse the economy, the more the stimulus. And like you explained, we're not really relying on fundamentals and earnings anymore for stock market growth. All we need is stimulus. And so the worse our economic condition, the more money they're going to print out, the better it is for stocks. So isn't this a huge opportunity for investors?
For a period of time. And you shouldn't say investors at this point, David, because in today's world, it's very hard. It's almost impossible to be an investor since the world's so politically driven. The stock market is going to crash at some point for all kinds of fundamental reasons. But it could double from here before it crashes. I doubt it, but it's possible because it's driven by monetary instruments. So you have to be a speculator. And an investor is somebody who plants the seed of corn and is willing to wait until the corn comes up, and then he's got many pieces of corn. It's predictable growth. But a speculator is one that takes advantage of politically caused distortions in the economy. And in this highly politicized world we live in today, you have to think like a speculator. You can forget about saving dollars. It's too bad. Most Americans, if they have assets, they're in the form of dollars. But that's going to prove to be as stupid over the next decade as an Argentine keeping his assets in the form of pesos.
In other words, keeping your assets in.
So how do you feel about gold and gold stocks? I just spoke to Rick Rule, whom I've had on a panel with you not too long ago, and he told me that short-term junior gold equities are overbought. What do you think?
Yeah, that may or may not be true, but I don't care because we've seen bubbles in real estate, in marijuana stocks, in cryptocurrencies. We have a current bubble in the stock market. We have a hyper bubble in the bond market with interest rates closing in on zero. So what's the next bubble? That's what a speculator has to ask himself. Gold. And the answer to that is gold, also commodities in general. And in particular, there's going to be a super bubble in gold stocks. I expect that, since gold was de-price controlled by the US government in 1971, when the dollar was devalued, same thing. We've had 5 major gold bull markets where the junior stocks went up an average of 1,000%.
The junior stocks went up an average of 1,000%. That's what we were watching before. And yes, I know you guys have not done a stock watch video in a little while. There's just so much going on. I promise to get back on that, what is this, tomorrow, which is Wednesday, because I do Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So I've been neglecting it because these are the stocks that we should be keeping an eye on, all right?
Same thing is going to happen this time, because now, relative to gold, the...
Did you hear what he said? So during those 5 previous bull runs, the minor stocks went up an average of 1,000%. Then he said, it's going to happen again. So there's some of you saying, hey, Pimpy, are there any stocks that we can move into that would be, you could benefit during this crash? I said, yeah, minor stocks, gold and minor stocks, precious metal stocks. This is what he's talking about.
All the stocks, all these gold stocks are at about one of the cheapest levels in history. They actually, look at it this way. All-in sustaining costs, the best way to look at the costs of a gold mining company, are about $1,000 an ounce for current producers. But gold is about $2,000 an ounce and going higher. But institutions and fund managers and banks and the big money has been indoctrinated against gold for many, many, many years, starting with their university years when they were miseducated in economics. They've been told that gold is a pet rock and so forth. So it's not even on their radar screen. So these gold mining companies that are in production are coining money at this point. And eventually they're going to figure it out and they're going to pile into them. But since the gold mining sector, the producers of the world, their current market caps are about the amount of cash that Apple alone has in its bank account.
We've heard this before.
So Apple, theoretically, could buy every gold producer in the world right now just with its cash. That's how teeny weeny they are. And when the public gets into them and the fund managers start figuring out what's happening to the dollar, it's going to be like trying to get the contents of Hoover Dam through a garden hose. It's going to be explosive. So I'm all in on gold stocks. Let's see if I'm right in the years to come.
Well, what's going to happen to gold and gold stocks following the election? Either way, Democrat or Republican win, do you think we'll have big moves in the yellow metal?
I do, because it doesn't matter whether we have a Harris regime or a Trump regime. Both of them are committed to printing up more dollars.
You hear what he said? A Harris regime or a Trump regime? He didn't say a Biden regime. He said a Harris regime.
Because they idiotically think that printing up dollars stimulates the economy and helps the average person. And they're going to have to do it to bail out the big banks and to bail out big corporations that are going to be failing.
Okay, so Doug, let's tie all this into your new book now. You have a new book coming out. It's called Assassin. Tell us about that. What is this about?
Well, it's the third in the High Ground series with our hero, Charles Knight. The first book was Speculator, which I think gold investors should definitely read. Then Drug Lord, and now he becomes an assassin. And this is a discussion of the morality and the history of political assassination.
So we won't get all too far into it because now he's just going to talk about his books. And I let that part go through just in case you guys were interested in checking out his books. I just wanted to go through. So again, what he's saying is when it comes to minor stocks, gold stocks that are out there. Again, some of you are saying, hey, Pimpy, besides moving into, physical gold and silver, I have a lot of money. It makes me nervous to hold that much. I say, well, why not store it over there with money metals? But if you don't want to do that, then there is a stock that you can get into. And those are minor stocks. They tend to do very well when there's a bull run on gold. Gold bull run. That usually means the market is bearish. Okay? So if we start to have a crash on the economy, you can bet that the gold and silver and precious metal stocks will perform great. They tend to do about 5 times the movement of what's going on with the actual physical gold, silver spot prices. Okay? So that's a good, in my opinion. You might want to move some of your stocks over in that area. It's just a suggestion. Remember, I'm not a financial expert. It's just my opinion. I'm not a tax attorney. It's something to consider. I told you guys I was considering it too. Like he said, there's a reason for it. There's not that many of them out there. And once people start waking up to what's really going to happen in the economy, you're going to see a bunch of people run over there. We already have seen Warren Buffett move to Barrick Gold. $500 million worth. We've seen Ray Dalio move from 5% of his portfolio, increased it to 20% into physical gold and silver as well as minor stocks. All right. So anyways, I just wanted to kind of get you guys caught up. There's not been a whole lot of news, only because they've been kind of going pretty horizontal. Although it's interesting to see Bitcoin continue to slowly but surely creep up. Look at it's now getting close to the $12,000 mark. All right. So despite what's going on out there and the market's looking a little fidgety, Bitcoin tends to be creeping up. Gold and silver have gone horizontal for the most part. So that's where we are. I just wanted to get you guys caught up on what's the latest and the greatest. Because again, you guys we haven't done any gold or crypto videos. I know. It's just because not a lot's going on. There's a lot of other stuff out there I just been focusing on. So as I do pay attention to everything else, If something major happens, I will let you know. But that's what's going on. I just wanted to update you real quickly. Right now, still a good time to jump all over precious metals. We have time, we think. So just keep stacking up on it. All right, you guys? So that's it for now. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel. And I surely do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later.